Hi, y'all. I am back. Technical difficulties. Okay, let me invite my guest. Okay. Right. We're going to try this one more time. I am truly sorry, y'all. First, we were disconnected, and my guest is having difficulties joining on. Oh, she's here. Okay. Hi, Queen. Okay, send you the invitation. So let me let me bring you on. All right. Adama, are you there? All right. Oh my goodness. Adama, I am here. I can see you. I sent you the request. Accept the request at the top of the screen. Are you there, Queen? Oh, finally we made it. We made it. We did it. We did it. Oh, we made it, y'all. All right. Let me introduce to you Adama. She is a voice of resurrection and heraldess of the eternal. She is also founder and director of Mother Earth Blessings Holistic Life Center. And she's producer and host of the Meeting of the Inner Circle every Thursday night at 6 a.m. Eastern Time to 11 p.m. Central Time. Now, I have a few questions for Dama. So I will just ask you one question and then you can take it away because for time, right?
Okay,
Um,
no problem.
what's on my mind is what is Earth Center traditional spiritual healing?
Um, we have come from another realm of eternity. We're on a planet that is spinning in space, right? And so that which comes from the earth is actually that which nourishes our physical bodies. All right. Now, because we're spirits in these bodies,
Mm-hmm.
and we have yet to really be supported by those institutions that have given us some orientation or disorientation as to what life actually is on the planet. In
Mm.
order to reverse any issues that have accumulated and concentrated in our tissues, crystallized in our tissues, such
Mm.
as the heart disease, the diabetes, the obesity, the lupus, the sarcoidosis, any of the cancers, and all of that, we have to really come back to the elements of the earth plus the sun, plus the air. So literally, we're all breatharian first. We have to breathe.
Mm.
It is the breath that is the animating, maintaining, and sustaining force of our lives.
Yeah.
It is that which comes from the earth in terms of the minerals
Mm.
that help to really facilitate the degree of alkalization, mineralization for our consistent cellular regeneration, rejuvenation, revitalization, and the creation of new blood. So our
Mm.
spirits are in these bodies, but the spirits are charged on the blood.
Ooh.
So the blood and the violation of the blood, the contamination of the blood, the pollution of the blood
Mm-hmm.
is what is foundational for undermining our, compromising our immune system,
Mm.
for allowing us to really be in a place where we are not generating creative thought.
Mm.
The cleaner the blood, the greater the clarity, the more focused the thought. It
Mm.
is through the mind and our capacity for thinking that we have the opportunity to tap into the divinity of existence, or that which we refer to as the divine mind, the absolute and supreme intelligence that is beating our hearts, breathing us, is the fullness of the substance of that which the earth and the sun and the moon and all of the planets are absolutely immersed in.
But
Now,
that leads me into a question before you go on. So would that then link into conscious cosmic citizenship in a roundabout way?
Well, in exactly why? Because the earth is a citizen of the cosmic. The earth is a citizen of the cosmic. Because our feet are on the ground does not mean that we're not in space. We're on a planet that is a sphere that is 80% water, spinning in the space that is cosmic. Now, the
Earth is a
cosmic
citizen. I love the Earth is a citizen. Y'all get that?
of the cosmic.
Of the cosmic consciousness.
And so the issue is that we are all citizens of the cosmic, but we are not all conscious of being cosmic citizens. In cosmic citizenship, immortality is the reality. Because cosmic constitutes that which is beginningless, endless, infinite, and eternal. So we have literally come to the earth through the realm, from another realm of eternity to the earth, which is in flotation in eternity, through the wombs of our mothers, sparked by the divine sacred fluid from our fathers. And then we do not have support in maintaining the consciousness of dwelling in the reality of eternity. We do not, you understand? So our education, our religious training, nothing has given us the proper mental support in realizing the infinity and the divinity and the sacredness of being.
Oh, gosh. Oh my goodness. I don't even know how to follow that up, because then give us your take on the blue ray energy that that is settled in the halls of Amenti, that is in the womb of the earth. What is your take on that?
On what? Tell me
on
again.
The blue ray, blue light energy.
I'm not hearing you.
On the blue ray or blue light energy in the halls of Amenti.
I'm not hearing you.
Okay. I'm asking you your take on the blue ray or blue light energy. Can you hear me? I'm hearing all this noise in the background. Oh, they are doing that the most right now. Can you hear me? I can hear you. Oh my goodness.
Aziza, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
I can't hear you.
Oh my goodness. They are overdoing this. Oh, wow. Okay, Miss.
I can't hear you.
I'm typing. Can you hear me? I don't know. I type it at the bottom. Oh. Okay. I'm reading.
So I think other ones can hear me. Dr. Mumbi.
Okay. All right, hold on, y'all. Okay, hold on. We may have to do this on Zoom.
So I think you were saying something about a blue ray or something in the earth that I can't really address. But the issue that I really want to address is the responsibility, duty, and obligation we have as women to reclaim our duty, obligation, and responsibility to be healing our own, to be healing ourselves as well as our people. Now, the issue for us is that the meat, the dairy, the eggs, the chicken, the fish, the alcohol, the tobacco, the sugar are things that undermine our perfect cellular functioning. I have to reinforce that we were perfectly and divinely designed by the same intelligence that blazes a sun, has the world spinning, and constitutes the wholeness of the substance of all there is as existence itself. It is beginningless, endless, infinite, and eternal, and it's beating our hearts and it's breathing us. But we were not designed to digest and eat the flesh of dead animals, the aborted fetuses of chickens, the pus of cows, artificially colored, artificially flavored, NutraSweet, aspartame laden, and then be a depository for all of these chemicals, the nitrates and nitrites, the BHA, the BHT, all of these things which are constituting the actual pandemic that we have been under for generations, as is evidenced in the amount of cancer, heart disease, diabetes, obesity, lupus, sarcoidosis, all of the kidney, renal, liver failure, all of this stuff. So at this particular point, our understanding that we are citizens of the cosmic before we are citizens of a corporation. Corporations do not have citizens. They may have agents, they may have officers, but they do not have citizens. Our citizenship is directly related to the eternal. We are already immortal, but being in the realm of the earth and in the realm of temporality, it's temporary, corporality, physicality, materiality, we are here to really self-actualize, self-realize, harmonize with the laws of existence and master ourselves, our thoughts, our emotions, our desires, and whatnot, so that the intelligence of existence that we some would refer to as the Most High, refer to as God, Goddess, Allah, Jah, Yahweh, Yahweh, doesn't matter what we may refer to it as, that which is beating our hearts is now calling us to rise from the depths of and the degrees of degradation, inebriation, intoxication, violation. You understand? Being in a place and space where we are in the ditches and valleys of degradation, which whittle away at our own sense of self-deservedness, at our own sense of high or real estate in being these living, loving, intelligent, potent, and immortal points of this absolute and supreme intelligence that is beginningless, endless, infinite, and eternal. The intelligence of existence doesn't get sick. The intelligence of existence is that which is consistently regenerating, rejuvenating, revitalizing, revivifying, and there are no ones who can outthink it, outlast it, outplan it, outlove it. You understand? So when we have a society that has been socialized to feel entitled to do things that undermine our own cellular functioning, when we feel as though we have the free will to be enslaved to our appetites, desires, passions, and lusts, when we feel that the falling into the traps of sensuality, sexuality, gluttony, and all of these things that create the various levels of spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical sickness and illness, Our only recourse is in consciously caring to be cleared, cleansed, purified, renewed, rebirthed, regenerated, rejuvenated, revitalized, revivified, and resurrected to the glory of the lineages that we represent. To be in a place and space where we know that all of those who did not make it across the oceans in the Middle Passage, all of those who are marginalized from the Western expanse, all of those who suffered under the right of or the perceived delusion that other ones think that they have the right to kill, to enslave, to incarcerate, to entrap.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
Now, we have leverage over that, but the issue for us, particularly as sisters, particularly as women, is that we have to cleanse ourselves up. We can't work on behalf of the corporate deities of death, you know, produce their products, advertise it, marketing, and consume it and feed it to our children, and see the evidence of something being wrong, and then go to the brothers of the ones who are the profiteers behind the meat, dairy, egg, chicken, fish, alcohol, tobacco, and sugar industry. So we indulged ourselves in all of their products, and then we go to their brothers who will assign us and design for us the drugs, the pharmaceuticals that do not cleanse us, they do not nourish us, they do not alkalize us, they do not perpetuate optimum cellular functioning. But now we've got more people on the pharmaceuticals and on the food that is the actual drug than all of the crack addicts, all of the alcoholics, all of the other ones. So at this particular point in time, we're being called to rise.
How do we go about starting that cleansing process?
I can't hear you.
At the bottom, in the comments.
Hold on a minute. Let me see what people are saying. So the cleansing process is one, you have to let go of your desire to be in a place where your appetite is being fueled by meat, dairy, eggs, chicken, and fish. Your body starts cleansing itself. That's how intelligent it is. It's gonna be, your body is gonna say, woo, thank God, she finally got a clue, you understand, to give, to give up all of this stuff. So it starts cleansing anyway. All right, so coming back to the power of the earth, many of us, when we were children, we craved the clay. It manifested as a desire to eat chalk, cornstarch, right? Argo starch, right? All of that. We ate the dirt, right? And so, but we didn't realize that was the DNA kicking in as the DNA from our indigenous and our native inheritance, because the clay is magnetic. So we drink it, we blend it in water, we do our enemas with it, we douche with it, because it will bring and loosen from the tissues anything that is inorganic in the tissues. Okay, so because the primary law of our existence is thou shalt not kill, right? Then we cannot feed off of the flesh of that which has been killed and not have violation charged upon our blood.
Oh,
you understand? The violation charged upon our blood puts us in a position where we do not have the opportunity for exalted thought. The exalted thought lays foundation for the exalted walk. You understand? And the exalted walk is the evidence of our knowing the truth of ourselves as these points of the presence of that absolute and supreme intelligence that is beginningless, endless, infinite, and eternal. That exalted walk puts us in a position where we are not subject to the edicts of those who have already proven that they do not have our best interests at heart. They do not have anybody's best interests at heart. If they had anybody's best interests at heart, or their own, then meat, dairy, eggs, chicken, fish, alcohol, and tobacco would not be on every corner in every community. You understand? We would not have access to that which undermines our cellular functioning. These things are the tools of oppression, and that stuff that they call food is actually a weapon being used against us, because it creates constipation, congestion, acidity, toxicity, degeneration, All of the disease is related to that stuff that they call food. Now, at this particular point in time, I'm making a distinction between that which is food and that which is nutriment for perfectly and divinely designed bodies that have a living spirit that has come from a realm of eternity to the earth to claim the earth as the kingdom and the queendoms of God.
Woo! Woo!
So yes, we crave the dirt, particularly when we were pregnant. Why? Because we were needing to be cleansed in order to form this new body, and it provides us the minerals, the iron, the calcium, the phosphorus, the silica, the magnesium, the manganese, and all of these other things. Then now we're adding also the sea vegetables. Why? Because the sea vegetables do upon the waters as the land plants do, which is to oxygenate. The sea vegetables have the iodine. The sea vegetables are able to help nourish us and provide the nutrients that we can't get from cultivated plants.
Oh.
Now, in this now moment, the edict for our rise to come to a point in place where not only is it about eating, so it's not about being vegan and vegetarian per se, it's about understanding the perfect and divine design of our body temples. And to understand that because we're breatharian, then you cannot compromise your lungs smoking. It don't matter what you're smoking. The Black and Milds, the marijuana, all of the smoking burns the lung. The lung is the organ of the spirit.
Ooh.
All right, so the breath is actually cleansing us. And we are exhaling that which should be eliminated, that we give back to the atmosphere, and then we get oxygen, right? But there's more in the air than we think that is there. Because it is the intelligence of existence directly that is animating, charging every fiber of our being. But the spirit is like vapor in these bodies, right? The spirit is like vapor. So when we realize that, one, you're going to function so much better the less of that stuff that you call food. You understand? So the flesh of anybody dead is got to rot in our bodies. It has to decay and decompose. And the proliferation of organisms, worms, parasites, bacteria, and viruses, now they've demonized, you understand? They've demonized the coronavirus, right? But your bodies are filled with innumerable amounts
of viruses. That's right.
You understand? Innumerable bacteria, viruses, and organisms, worms, and parasites already from having the rot of pigs and cows and turkeys and chicken and fish and all of this, then the alcohol, the tobacco, the sugar, and this and that. No wonder we are a mess.
Yes.
Because the blood is dirty.
Ooh.
Clean the blood and you clear the consciousness. What is it that would make a man feel entitled to rape his own daughters? You understand? What is it that makes preachers who have taken on the studies from seminary and divinity school to be in a place where they create violation and pedophilia and all of this? It's because of the contamination of the bloodstream. So our care in this now moment, it doesn't matter what you've done, how low you've gone, what your habits have been. Right now, there is power that is available to us because we can ask and we can knock. I give thanks that I am being completely cleared, cleansed, purified, renewed, rebirthed, regenerated, rejuvenated, revitalized, revivified, and made whole. I am establishing within every fiber of my being the love of God, the light of God, the truth of God, the peace of God, the power of God, because that is the salvation, the liberation, that which is greater than the edicts of a Fauci and a Gates and a Queen of England and all of these other ones who are delusional to think that they have the right to determine that those of us who are melanin dominated people do not have the right to live because we have become useless eaters.
Oh my gosh, speak that truth.
You understand? So in this now moment, it is all now moment of eternity. It is always a now moment of eternity. We have to do the inner work of the clearing, cleansing, consecration. So at Mother Earth's Blessing Holistic Life Center, I provide the clay to help detox us. I do herbal blends so that the cells are being liberated. Now, because the methodology of our oppression has been to oppress us at our cellular functioning, then the methodology of our liberation has to happen cellularly. So people being encouraged to take this lethal injection that is not a vaccination, you understand? We have to realize there's no reason to take it. You understand? There's no reason to take it. Why? Because it's not going to all of a sudden make you lose the weight that you couldn't lose anyway. It's not going to reverse the heart disease. It's not going to all of a sudden give you the clarity of mind and make your brain limitless so that you can just look at a book and absorb all the information from it. You understand? It's not going to do anything for you.
Oh my God.
Except undermine your already compromised immune system, right? Yeah. So that any of the viruses, bacteria, organisms, and whatnot that are already in your body can take over.
Remember, can you hear me now? I still can't hear me. Oh my goodness. This doctor did an experiment with a bag of rice, and he said,
I can't hear you.
Oh my goodness.
So the issue for us is knowing that the earth is massive. Mm-hmm. There's no such thing as she doesn't have minerals. Die. But what we have to do is really get to that place in space where we are literally breathing more consciously and conscientiously, clearing the lungs from all of the mucus. Now, when we were little and in elementary school, the teacher would say, tell mom to send 2 cups of flour to school with you so that we could do art. Remember that? We took the 2 cups of flour to school and we mix it with water and it makes paste.
Yes.
Okay, so we would do our paper mache and other art projects with the paste. Now, that's your pancakes, flour and water, your waffles, flour and water, your biscuits, your breads, your pasta, your ramen noodles, and then you have the mucus coming from your potatoes, your yams, your carrots, your beets. All of this is mucus producing. Mucus holds the chemicals. It's tenacious. It settles and it hardens within the sinuses. It begins to really block any nutrient absorption from all of your organs.
Okay.
So we have to come to that place where we are literally doing the nutriment as opposed to eating food, hydrating, water, but we have to do the enemas. Y'all remember the enema bags our mothers used to have, our grandmothers used to have hanging on the door, right? And we did not necessarily understand what they were for. And some of the brothers would say they would put Kool-Aid in it and give everybody 5 cents a squirt, right? So we're taking enemas and dishing. So for the fibroids are collections of mucus and chemicals. All right, we douche with the clay and apple cider vinegar to begin to loosen all that stuff up.
Okay.
All right, we do the enemas. Why? Because once you start drinking the clay water, and it's a combination of this deep red clay and bentonite, it's very strong bentonite, right? Yes. So it's going through your circulatory system and it's pulling anything that's inorganic out of your tissues. We're talking the concentration, saturation of the brain cells, the thyroid, all of the organs and glands that the only thing they do in the hospitals is take them out. They don't tell you that you really just need to cleanse. So just like we get up and we brush our teeth every morning, we bathe the outside of the body, between the legs, the crack of the behind, we swab our ears, we clean our nostrils, we cough up whatever, we're cleansing, but then we're junk in the trunk between the neck and the pelvic. You can't live without the trunk. We see people live without their toes, their feet, their legs, their arms, their hearing, their vision, their ability to speak, but you cannot live without your trunk. Your trunk has your vital organs and whatnot, so your heart is there. Now, when we are contaminating our bloodstream, Dirty blood circling through the heart is creating heart disease. You can't fully love with a diseased heart. The heart is the altar of the body that is the temple for the re-enthronement of the true spirits of the living gods and goddesses. That is our truth.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah.
So at this particular point in time, I don't do Instagram that often, but I looked at some of the things there today, and I see that a lot of sisters are really steeped in vanity. They're not steeped in light. They're not steeped in wisdom. They're not steeped in love. They're not steeped in the capacity to articulate a plan of liberation, resurrection, and salvation to the glory of the lineages that they represent. So in effect, they really can't be acknowledged as real women in our day and time. We may be female, but womanhood is a real estate in being, just as manhood is a real estate in being. Just because we have the genitalia of being male and does not mean that we can be qualified as real men and wombed men. That's what eating meat, dairy, eggs, chicken, fish, alcohol, tobacco, sugar, artificial colors, artificial flavors, and all of this garbage do to us. It puts us in a position where it creates superficiality, artificiality. You understand? We have no real realm of the authenticity of the divinity of our being. We philosophize, we theosophize, we speculate and whatnot, but our walking in the integrity of the high ethic and the high morality of what it is to be wombed men, what it is to be mothers, daughters, granddaughters, great-granddaughters, great-great-granddaughters, great-great-great-granddaughters, great-great-great-great, but then being mothers, destined to be grandmothers and great-grandmothers and great-great-great-grandmothers and great-great-great-great-grandmothers. So it is destiny as being typed female and then male in our mother's wombs to be the perpetuators of life, to be the perpetuator of lineages. Now, whether we do it or not does not excuse us from the duty, obligation, and responsibility to be exalting life itself.
Yeah, exactly.
You understand? But we have sisters who have become educated, and our education has been our taking black face behind white stupidity. You understand? We work for these companies. We make sure that these companies get into our communities. Our brothers are driving the alcohol, the tobacco, the sugar, the Black and Milds. You understand? We put these products in our communities. We work on behalf of these companies, Coca-Cola, Burger King, McDonald's, and all of this. We are doing their marketing. We're doing their advertising. Plus, we're selling that and providing that as food to our children.
Yeah, yeah.
You understand? And the school systems, everywhere there is a wombed man, everywhere there is the man with the womb, there should be a point and center completely committed to the perpetuation of life, to the exaltation of life. Everywhere there's the man without the womb, there should be one who is a progenitor of lineages, and he knows duty, obligation, and responsibility in exalting a full effort in his living to constitute the truth of himself. Yeah. You understand? But alcohol, tobacco, and the flesh of dead animals do not make for real men. Alcohol, tobacco, and the flesh of dead animals put men in a place and space where they feel bad. They don't feel good. You understand? Yeah. And it creates a nastiness that's in them. You understand? That begins to externalize everywhere that they are. They don't feel good. They're smoking, they're drinking, they're doing all these things. And then they go home and because they're violating themselves, then they violate their women and their children.
Boom. Boom.
We don't necessarily understand it, but it's still the truth. And that's why a boycott of the death industries, by virtue of our exalting a full effort to recommit ourselves to living. You understand? See, that's the whole point of being under cellular oppression, is that we're houses divided against ourselves as individuations of the presence of this absolute and supreme intelligence that we refer to as God. To be divided within ourselves means that we cannot stand. A house divided against itself shall not stand. So if a woman is divided within herself to the degree to which she feels entitled to be smoking, drinking, casually sexing, doing things that undermine the integrity of her life force and and the integrity of her character, her morality, her sensibility, her alignment with her angels, her guides, her guardians, her ancients, and disconnect her from her soul. And then she connects with a man who feels like he's entitled to drink and smoke and sex casually, and be a detriment to himself. Then there's no way we can be whole. There's no way we can have happy families. There's no way that we create dynasty. You understand? Even in a family where you've got 5 or 6 siblings, you understand? And all of you all are houses divided against yourself, where you're smoking, you're drinking, you're getting high, you're spewing, you're doing all of these things that wear away at the sense of your own self-respect, self-regard, and the reality that you are one of the most powerful spirits upon the face of the earth, because you can't feel powerful if you're a detriment to yourself. You understand? You can't feel powerful when you've been addicted to substances and addicted to sex and addicted to alcohol. You understand that creates an inherent sense of helplessness and weakness.
Yeah. Yep.
You understand? These are why, this is why those things are what I refer to as the weapons of mass destruction. The tobacco, the alcohol, the white sugar. Now, they give us sugar from the time we're little, right? White sugar is the most pervasively used, misused, and abused drug in the world. You understand? Once you're addicted to sugar, then you can be addicted to anything. You understand? So when we were little, they said, you better not eat all that candy. It's going to rot your teeth. So I don't care. You understand? I guess they could think about, I get implants later on, So in our now moment, if you really want to be taken seriously, if you really want to be respected, as an intelligence of existence, not as a black woman, not as a white woman, not as just a woman, but as one who is aware of the sacredness and the divinity of existence, then we cannot support the violation and the annihilation, the subjugation of other beings, and then feed off their body parts and their progeny. One of the reasons why we have so much fibroids is because of all of the babies that we've eaten, the eggs. One of the reasons we have all of the fibroids is because of all of the body fluid that we've ingested from mother cow, with the cheese and the milk and the ice cream. There is nothing that comes from an animal that literally is digestible in our system. So this stuff just recoagulates. You see how cheese does. You understand, once you melt it and you have it on bread and you eat it, and after a while, then you drink something cold behind it, all of that recoagulates, and then it sticks along the tributaries of the 100,000 miles of capillaries, veins, arteries, and blood vessels that you have. So the high blood pressure, you understand, the arteriosclerosis. Your blood needs to flow. The oxygenation, the breathing helps to oxygenate the blood. The blood has to get to the brain. You understand? So if we're sitting up all the time, then you've got to have a good power with your heart. But the heart is weakened with the more mucus and chemical and acidity and all of this stuff that we're ingesting. But the body, being perfectly and divinely designed, can cleanse and heal from any of it. I'm helping people to reverse all disease. All right? Because, obesity is the evidence that we are not eating that which the body can recognize as food. So it's just storing in the body. It's just storing in the tissues. So sometimes the sisters who get on my protocols, they'll say, "Oh, well, I lost my behind," or "I lost my breast." And I'm saying, well, if you lost it, it wasn't yours. To come to that place.
Wow,
where we have to realize that we're much, much more than our breasts and our behinds. You understand? To be a woman the quality of consciousness of a woman lays foundation for generations of people. But if we don't really care, then we'll never be able to partake of the glory of the triumph of the children of God. We will not ever be given anything that is greater than who and what we already are. We cannot become something that we're not already. You understand? So real success in life has nothing to do with success in business. Real success in life is not being successful capitalists. Real success in life is coming to a place where you are walking in the divinity and of your own authenticity as a vehicle and vessel for the love of God, the light of God, the truth of God, the peace of God, the poise of God, the power of God, the creativity to literally, and the care. You understand, in the high ethic and the morality and that which allows us to really, literally create heaven on earth, where we are in the peace and the poise and the power and the potency and the vivid self-expression and self-representation of being these points, these living, loving, intelligent, potent, and immortal points of absolute and supreme intelligence. That takes us beyond all of the divisiveness. You understand? So this is the absolute reality of every living being, is absolute and supreme intelligence. You understand? The rats, the cats, the dogs, the birds, the whales, the walruses, the buffalo, the cows, there is no order of being that is not an intelligent being. All of them exalt a full effort in their living. They do nothing to undermine themselves. They know their food. They excrete their waste. They know their kind. They perpetuate themselves. And they have sense to respond correctly and directly when they sense that their lives are being threatened. How do we know our behavior has been modified? In that we feel entitled to do that which undermines our lives. We feel entitled to do that which is truly detrimental to ourselves. We think that that is the substance of free will and what freedom actually is. Freedom is not being able to kill yourself. Freedom is not being in a place where you are taking liberties to create a tragic date with fate that will end in death and leave your children without proper care. That's not freedom. That's stupidity. We're in a place now where we have to realize that liberation is not something that we have really been well informed about. Liberation is where the intelligence of our being has been completely freed so that we are functioning as intelligences of existence. That we're exalting a full effort in our living. We're loving being loving, consciously caring. You understand that we are activating and invoking the greatness of the lineages that we represent, that we are doing that which is consistent with the will of existence, the intelligence of existence, and the perpetuation of life itself. Not to the detriment of anything or anybody, because there's only one self, and the self is God. Myself, yourself, himself, herself. The self is God. So self-knowledge, creator knowledge, creation knowledge lay foundation for who it is we are and how it is we are to serve, how it is we are to live, how it is we are able to transcend, transform, and transmute all of this foolishness into our greater good by allowing it to inspire us to be completely cleared, cleansed, purified, renewed, rebirthed, regenerated, rejuvenated, and resurrected. Now, because we have the technology to communicate with people all over the world, because there are women all over the world coming into leadership, then we have to come to a place where we care to be leadership now. We don't have to wait for the president and the Congress and the Senate and all of those ones, particularly if they're the ones who are telling you to go get shots. You know, as opposed to telling you to cleanse, particularly if they're the ones who getting the kickbacks and are the profiteers behind the meat, the dairy, the eggs, the chicken, the alcohol, tobacco, and sugar industry. You can't follow these ones. They've already proven that they do not know. They don't even care to know. You understand? So even though you can make all this money in the perpetuation of sickness, illness, disease, and death, which has become multi-trillion-dollar business and economy, where we have all been relegated to being commodities in sickness, illness, disease, and death. So those seeds and those who have been sowing those seeds, those who have been tending those seeds of sickness, illness, disease, and death, there's no way to miss the harvest of sickness, illness, disease, and death. Now, is that the will of God? No, it is not the will of God. It is the fulfillment of law, however. The law says that which you do unto others shall be done unto you. The seeds that you sow will reap a harvest that is consistent with the nature of the seeds that you have sown. So now we're having the opportunity to regroup, to reconcile ourselves, to harmonize ourselves with the will of existence, the intelligence of existence, to come to a point in place where breakfast in the morning, wherever you eat breakfast, should be fresh fruit. Mangoes, strawberries, blueberries, grapefruit, melons, all fresh fruit, because fruit is the body's natural cleanser. They say, oh, well, my doctor told me I shouldn't eat any fruit. But I say, but the doctor didn't tell you to stop eating the flesh of dead animals, did he? He didn't tell you, or she didn't tell you to stop drinking the alcohol and smoking the cigarettes, or maybe they did, and you're just not listening. You understand? Did the doctor tell you? Did the doctor tell you to cleanse your behind? You understand why? I'm just saying, y'all can't be listening to these people, and they themselves are sick.
Are sick.
You understand? So this is a problem with the police. It's the problem with the judges, with the lawyers, with the president, with all of these ones. Everybody grew up eating the flesh of dead animals, the aborted fetuses of chickens, the pus and mucus of cows, artificial colors, artificial flavor, candy, sweets, and all of this stuff, which creates such filth and violation charged upon the blood. Now, we have a lifetime, right? So we know that at some point we all have to leave here. Because our life is over. But we should not be undermining ourselves to create a tragic date with fate in death.
Yeah.
Now, when you're already in the realm of eternity and you're already immortal, why would you be dying? Because you've been in violation of the laws of life.
Yes.
You understand? Yes. It's not a punishment. It's just a fulfillment of law. All right. But the lawless ones have mandated that cigarettes and alcohol and tobacco and the things that shorten one's lifespan are legal. We were enslaved behind the sugar industry. We were enslaved behind the tobacco industry. You understand? We were enslaved behind the cotton industry. People want reparations. I'm saying, don't ask these people for anything. Stop supporting them. Come to a point in place where you do not give a dime to these people, and they're poison. That will give your body a chance to clear, cleanse, purify. But the thing that happens is that the mind gets so clear. And so I changed my diet in college in the 70s. So that because I realized that those ones, the professors, those who were professing to know, right, that they began to really share the Global 2000 plan to eliminate over 3.5 billion people from the face of the earth. This was in 1970s, 78.
Yep.
Right now, this what we're seeing now is the escalation of that. And I'm saying, okay, you got all these people dying from heart disease, diabetes, obesity, sarcoidosis, all of this suicide and this and that, but you want everybody to die quicker now. You understand? But I changed my diet in the late 70s when I found out that they were on a world conquering rampage to depopulate the planet. So I made up my mind. I'm not giving you another damn dime, okay? And I went from eating absolutely everything to having fruit in the morning and huge salads in the evening. I went from, I'm only 5 feet tall, I'm petite, right? But I went from 127 pounds to 103 in less than 45 days with no additional exercise.
Wow.
But when I went to class, I didn't have to study to really labor over my books anymore. I could go to class, I could read the chapter, I could listen to what was being said, and I could form the critical questions. I could hear what was not being said. I could read between the lines. And I brought my professors to their freaking knees. They cried like babies with me. You understand? So we have to be in a position where we can outthink the madness. You understand? We don't just go along with people to say, okay, well, you know, these police officers can shoot and kill our people in the street, and then we have no recourse, and we're waiting for 12 people to make a decision as to whether they're guilty or not, and we know damn well they're guilty. Justice is an inherent part of existence. But our blackness is not salvation when we have been completely complicit, complacent, and co-conspirating with the foolishness. So the quickest way for us to come into the sacredness and the divinity of our being is to claim it. but also to claim the sacredness and the divinity of all beings, to stop eating the sea creatures. Well, you know, sister, I gave up pork in 1989 and I gave up beef, but I'm just eating chicken and fish. Or I'd like to get some shrimp every now and again, but I'm saying stop eating dead things.
Oh, Lord.
Eat life, eat alive things. Well, the vegetables are dead. The vegetables are not dead unless you kill them. You understand? You're a living being. You need living food. Okay? And it doesn't necessarily mean that you should have to go all raw. It means that you need to eat that which is consistent with the divine and perfect design of your body temple. But because of how much chemical, how much nitrate, nitrite, BHA, BHT, all of these chemicals, which is constituting the dementia, the Alzheimer's, the Parkinson's disease. You understand? So the clay helps to cleanse all of that from the system. But it's consistency over time. You can't have eaten meat, dairy, eggs, chicken, and fish, alcohol, tobacco for 50 years and then think because you gave it up 2 months ago that you're good. You can't, you understand? So it's consistency over time. So over the years, plus the enemas. So the bath, the skin is the largest eliminative organ. So we bathe in, I won't even say we bathe, we sweat the toxins out. And the detox bath will also facilitate the tightening of the skin where you've lost the excess weight. But the reality of it is that because we're breath airers and our bodies are 80% water, like the earth is 80% water, 80% of our diet is then water-based food. We're talking fresh fruit and vegetations, leafy greens, and that which grows above the earth that has seeds. And you can eat as much of that stuff as you like. Eat till you're full. They say, oh, well, I said, what did you have for breakfast today? They say, oh, I had a grapefruit. I said, you just had one grapefruit? Yeah, but I'm hungry. I said, well, why didn't you have 2 or 3 grapefruit? You didn't have just one piece of chicken. You didn't have just one, you didn't have just, you didn't have just one Lay's potato chip. You didn't have just one cookie. You didn't have just one man. I'm just saying, why are you going to just have one grapefruit?
Oh my God.
So no, you eat 2 or 3 of them. I might do 2 or 3 grapefruit, a couple of oranges, a couple of tangerines. That's the breakfast. You understand? Or cut up an apple, a pear, sliced banana, raisins, strawberries, blueberries. That's in a bowl. And then you do your sea moss coconut milk smoothie and pour that on top of it. All right? You're not gonna want anything. Why? Because your cells are being nourished. Liberation has to happen at the cellular level.
Yeah.
So in our now moment, we are immersed in the infinity of possibilities.
Oh,
so those ones who contact me and get on my protocols, I give them affirmations. I dwell in the presence of the absolute. I am a presence of the absolute. I'm immersed in the infinity of possibilities. There is nothing that I cannot accomplish. You understand? So what it is we say to ourselves, we're infusing into ourselves. Now, when the cells are filled with acid and toxins and mucus and parasites and organisms, then whatever you say, it can't really get through. That's why we were told through fasting and prayer, the desires of our heart will be granted unto us. Right?
Yeah. Yes.
And so we're fasting from supporting those who do not have our best interests at heart. We're fasting from the meat industry, the dairy industry, the tobacco industry, the alcohol industry. You understand? And all of that so that we are able to clear, cleanse, purify, and reconstitute these bodies as the temples for the re-enthronement of the true spirits of the living gods and goddesses. You understand? That's the only leverage we can have over the bozos. You understand? You got to be a bozo to be thinking that you can really create a global initiative of depopulation and genocide, and then you're going to survive it? Really? There's absolute law that governs us. It governs them too, right? They can't think. Why? Because they got the right of pigs and cows and turkey and chicken and alcohol and tobacco and catfish and all this stuff in their tissues. They dress up real nice. Yeah, you got money. You can wear Brook Brothers suits and all of this. You still filthy on the inside. You still a detriment to everybody. You still the cancer walking on the face of this earth. You understand? So I'm just saying is that we have to separate ourselves from having been tainted by the corporate deities of death.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we get strong enough in the word of God that we ourselves speak. In the beginning, there was the word was God, the word was with God. We can speak the word of God. We are the God that dwells in this temple. I declare that I am this point of an absolute and supreme intelligence, and there are no forces, no bosses that have authority in my life. I am this point of this absolute and supreme intelligence. I am immortal. I am the voice of our liberation. I am the voice of our resurrection. I am calling us to remember the who that we each are, the all that we are. There is nothing that is guaranteed on this planet except for the establishment of this eternal order, the kingdoms and queendoms of life. And you can participate or not, but not participating don't give you no glory, and you may not survive it. Now, in the realm of eternity, how long will you be dead? You understand me? We're in a place, whatever you say, sister, it go. You're the goddess that dwells in that temple. I don't care what you're dealing with. They can give you any diagnosis, any prognosis. You are the one who can claim, I am complete and whole right here, right now. There is no dis-ease in me. But then you got to do the work. You got to clear, cleanse, purify, forgive, and let go. I've seen sisters who got the herbs, they got the stuff, but then they would not forgive. You got to be able to let go. You got to be just like that sun. You got to just blaze. You got to shine. And whatever keeps you from shining, whatever puts you in a position where you are heavily burdened with what they did and who said what and all of that, you ain't got time for that. Your children need you to stand up. Your grandchildren need you to stand up. Your elders, your mama and grandmama and them who are already in the spirit side are waiting for you to exalt a full effort in reclaiming the divinity of your being so that you can represent them well upon this planet, to glorify them, to honor them. You ain't here just to be a part of the corporate deities of death. You're not here to work for a goddamn dollar to the detriment of yourself. You're not here to be the black face behind white stupidity. We have to come to a point in place where this matters. You understand? I don't care what your sexuality is. You understand? The issue is you either womb man or some combination of the other, and you are here to serve life. You understand? I don't make distinctions. People always want to have all of this, they're this and they're that. No, they're these points of an absolute and supreme intelligence that is beginningless, endless, infinite, and eternal. Everybody is that. Everybody is that. Now, if you're not claiming the divinity of yourself, then nobody's going to treat you like you're the divinity that you care to be respected as.
Speak that. Speak it.
You understand me? That in our now moment, we've got to really turn up the fire within our own spirits. It's not anybody else's responsibility.
That's
now,
right.
I have been, and I'm going to say this, I have been strict vegetarian for over 43 years. I have a 38-year-old son that I never gave any of it to. The way that I grew up with church and Easter and Thanksgiving and Christmas, he got none of it. I never bought him toys. His first gift from me, other than his life and me not poisoning him, was a pocket knife at 5. He would go outside and get his twigs and whittle his twigs and make his swords and this and that and the other. And then I started sending him up to the country. Right now, he's still in the country. He's raising bees and making honey, delivering produce. So I'm just saying is that the consciousness of a woman lays foundation for the progression of the lineages.
Yes.
We are here to serve life, and we need to put our children on the path of life. We cannot continue to feed them McDonald's and all of this stuff. Now, the issue in terms of that which they call food and how the first levels of disease start from the time we're children is that, one, when you give your children processed cereal and milk, it doesn't even matter whether it's soy milk, almond milk, or cow's milk. It's indigestible in the body because we're not designed for it. Whether it's processed wheat, processed oats, you understand, processed corn. And then when you look at the ingredients on the breakfast cereal boxes, it always has the BHA and the BHT. It has shelf stabilizers. It has synthetic chemicals that are supposedly fortifying and giving nutrients back to it. The body can't digest it. It's just turning into mucus in the body. If you give your children hot dogs and buns, if you give them, even if you give them veggie burgers that are made out of soy and bread, if you give them veggie burgers or whatever made out of beans and then bread, it's indigestible in the body. And this is why being vegan and vegetarian is no real security if we're eating a vegan or vegetarian form of the stuff that we grew up with. You understand? Now everybody's in business, and we have all of these vegan, vegetarian restaurants and whatnot who are making and using the Impossible Burger, which is full of poison. You understand? Or the Beyond Meat burgers and all of this. When I had a strict vegetarian restaurant in Little Five Points here in Atlanta from 1994 to 1999, right? And what I realized is that, you know, your body really knows what to do with fruit and vegetation. But I made all my veggie burgers from scratch, and there was no potato starch in it. You understand? There was nothing to make you want meat, taste like meat, make you think about meat. You understand? We are not flesh eaters. There is no substitute for the flesh of a dead animal that needs to be on your plate. And as quiet as it's kept, as quiet as it is kept, as breatharian. When you think about all of that stuff that we had as food, from the breakfast cereals to the potatoes, the yams, the orida, this, and all of that, we didn't have to have any of it. None of it is an essential. And we would have grown, and we would have matured, and we would have been healthier than ever before had we not ever had any of it.
Yeah, I agree. And
so in this now moment, your ability to respond correctly and directly to being under a global initiative of depopulation and genocide, it matters.
Yeah.
In this now moment, your ability to know how to facilitate your disease reversal. A lot of times, because we're women, one, and because we got DNA of other indigenous and native in our tissues, in our DNA. Many of us are psychic. Many of us are empaths. Many of us have spiritual gifts. And those gifts are blocked and obstructed when we are eating meat, dairy, eggs, chicken, and fish. When we're smoking and drinking. All right. And so we're having to go get jobs because we have not activated our own gifts. Doing this internal cleansing and acknowledging the divinity of our being, and eating and consuming that which is going to intensify, expand, magnetize, and magnify your life currency. You understand? Then your natural gifts get activated. We have the power to actually invoke the greatness of ourselves in ourselves with our voices. You understand? The toning. We can tone, we can call. See, the voice is part of the power. The thought is part of the power. The voice and the intention and the will. So when we bring all of those together, you understand, then we're changing frequencies. We're creating new vibrations. But when every atom and every cell of your being has been cleared and cleansed and purified so that love is infused in every fiber of your being, and you radiate that love, then everything in existence is celebrating your lives.
Boom.
You understand? We have beyond. You understand? So many of us grew up believing in that. We wanted to believe in the magic. We watch Bewitched. We watch I Dream of Jeannie. We watch, you understand?
Yes.
We have to know how the magic works. The magic works when you are in tune with the intelligence of your being, when there's no blockage and obstruction. The magic works when you have the capacity to think a thought and see it and claim it and give thanks as if you've already achieved it and know of a surety that you're well deserving of whatever it is.
Oh, yes.
But when you full of violation and you full of anger and pissation, when you got all these issues with all these ones and whatnot, you can't manifest anything that's good. You understand? You're manifesting sickness, illness, and disease. No matter how big your booty is or how big your tits are, you understand? I'm just saying, you could drop it like it's hot. The issue is you're going to be dropping dead without ever having lived your life. That's the reality of where we are right now. You understand? I don't know why in the world we would settle for being a trap. We see these guys, right? Those guys that will respond to the sisterhood being half dressed and half naked. You understand? I'm just saying is that at some point we have to understand the fullness of what the divinity and the sacredness of womanhood is.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
So it says Facebook. It don't say ass book. You understand? It say Facebook. We need to be in a place where we know that we are truly divine and sacred beings. Yes. That means that we should not be appealing to the base nature of a man. These brothers are weak as it already is. You understand? This is why abortion is the #1 killer of us as a people.
Yeah.
You understand? It was never intended for us to be aborting babies like we're aborting babies. That's like birth control. You understand? But I'm just saying is that at this particular point in time, a lot of the young sisters are not even able to conceive. A lot of the younger sisters are not able to carry their babies to full term. A lot of sisters are miscarrying because they have never been properly nourished. Their bodies are in a level of nutritional deficiency.
Yes.
You understand? And so to be eating meat, dairy, eggs, chicken, fish, flesh, alcohol, tobacco, sugar, and whatnot, and then appealing to a base nature of a man where you got an itch that got to be scratched and whatnot, and then get pregnant behind it with there being no evidence of any real care and no evidence of really no love, the families. You don't have any idea as to who these people are that you have now merged yourself with the lineage that has come through. I'm just saying is that we have access to absolute wisdom in this life. We have access to absolute love in this life. We have access to absolute light in this life, but we have to become the vehicles and vessels of it.
Yes, yes.
And that's why I provide counsel and consultations and whatnot, so that these young ones particularly have the opportunity to do what we never saw done in terms of men and women who come together with a wholehearted commitment to the love of God, the light of God, the truth of God, the peace of God, the triumph of God, and the integrity of godliness and righteousness as a foundation of their lives. Then they come together. You understand? So the marriage is with God first. The marriage is with life first. The marriage is with law first. Then you come together. And so you have to know that you have your right mate. You understand? Because a lot of ones, it's like, well, I just don't know. I don't think it's any good men left. They're either gay or they're either in prison. And I'm saying that's not necessarily the truth unless you make it true because you're thinking
that way. Yeah.
But if you really care to be loving and you really care to be loved, then you have to start really caring and loving the truth of yourself.
Yes, it starts with
you. And
you.
Respecting it.
That's
and
right.
Honoring it.
Yes.
And realizing that your gift is far beyond anything that any of these systems of oppression have given us. You understand? It's not about our ability to manage somebody else's business.
That's
you understand? It's not about our capacity to generate money because we're working for the corporate deities of death. It's about how we honor and glorify that which beats our heart and breathes us. We were told to love it with our whole body, heart, mind, with all might. You understand? To honor our mothers and fathers, let us live to be a glory to the lineages we represent.
Yes, yes,
Let us come
yes.
to that place in space where we are leading. We're leading the charge of our resurrection, our rise, our liberation. But we can't be on the fence. There really is no fence. You're either on the path of death or you've been initiating and getting onto the path of life, the path
That's
of
right.
eternal life. See, life is beginningless, endless, infinite, and eternal. They're trying to make y'all believe in death. And I'm saying, in the realm of eternity, how long will you be dead?
Woo.
Can you get out the body alive if your body is filled with all of this mucus and your pineal gland is calcified and all of this? Can you get out the body alive, or do you suffocate?
Mm. Mm.
You understand? I'm just saying,
Yes.
is that
Yes.
leaving the planet is an inevitability if you can get out of the body.
Yes. Yes.
But if you can't get out the body, then that's because you never really lived your life.
Ooh.
You want to be able to get out the body, but then the issue is, who recognizes you to escort you into the exalted realms
Boom.
beyond the lower heavens and hells of the earth? You understand? Who have you been applying yourself to in your praying without ceasing? Who has heard prayers and who has aligned themselves and attuned themselves to be in a place where they got your back and they will move your mountains for you, because you have proven that you care, that you have proven that you know, that you have proven that you are worthy and deserving, and that your gifts are fully activating, and your vision for a new world under the absolute law and the order of the ages. These spirits will move our mountains for us.
Boom. Okay.
But if you don't knock and seek and ask, and you just rather drop it like it's hot and take one after the next and, be entertaining all this sickness, then you will miss your glory. That's just the reality of it. We see it on the streets all the time. People who have forfeited themselves. You understand? Everybody has a body. Your body is your home. You don't even have to go back to the place where you refresh yourself. You understand? The boxes that we pay so much for, the mortgages and the rents and the leases. You understand? We live in these bodies. The difference between the bodies and the houses, the shelters, is that these bodies completely regenerate, rejuvenate, and revitalize. You understand? A lot of ones, want to offset the aging and this and that. You age less when you don't eat meat, dairy, eggs, chicken, and fish, because those things create acidity. And the acidity facilitates cellular degeneration. The alkalinity from fruit and vegetation creates consistent cellular rejuvenation and regeneration. But in that, you also are rejuvenating, revitalizing, and revivifying the spirit that you are in that body. That you have access to the will of God, the light of God, the peace of God, the truth of God, the beauty of God, the depth of God, the knowing of God, the caring of God, the peace of God, the poise of God, the potency of God, the prosperity and the wealth of God. That's ours. We got to do the work. Are there any questions?
That is too funny. Oh man, any questions?
I'm sorry, I just can't hear you. I
love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Thank you so much, sister. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I mean,
next time we should do Zoom. Let me make sure people understand I'm available for consultation, 678-760-9299. For those who are in Atlanta, you can come to the Holistic Life Center. You can come to Circle on Sundays from 3 to 7, 1830 Cheshire Bridge Road, Northeast Atlanta, Georgia. You can communicate with me through motherearthsblessing@gmail.com or adamaspeaks@gmail.com. You can put Adama Speaks into a search engine and come up with some of my online content. I'm aired every Thursday night, midnight to 3 a.m. at www.wrfg.org, 89.3 FM, midnight to 3 a.m. I can also be heard on bbsboyboysamradio.com/Adama Speaks. Studio One, Fridays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Tuesdays, I think Fridays, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Otherwise, I look forward to hearing from you, to assisting, to consistently, supporting us in a boycott of the death industries through exalting a full effort in our living. And then we have the opportunity to determine we ain't working.
That's
Global
right.
work stoppage. You make this thing work without us working it, and see what you get from that.
This is our time. I don't know if anybody else can hear me, but tomorrow we'll be on Zoom from 11:30. Adama is going to be on that Zoom with us. We're having Sophia Stewart, the mother of the Matrix, on our Zoom live. And our next Zoom with Adama is going to be on our Zoom, and we're going to do a meditation June 21st. To welcome in, to bring in that new energy and the energy she spoke of. So check us out on our Zoom. If you're interested, inbox me and my message. Inbox me and I'll send you the link for the Zoom tomorrow. Okay? So,
thank you.
Let me send you some flowers. I'm giving you your flowers, girl.
Right.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Bless your heart.
My goodness.
Much love to you. Thank you for your work.
Thank you. Love you. Mwah.
Thank you.
We'll talk. I'll call you.
All right. It's our time. Right. Bless your heart. Thank you. Goodbye.
Oh my goodness. I hope you guys enjoyed that and I got so much from that, man. I was over here fun. I had to turn the fan on. That's how powerful that was. And that was a message from the divine. So if you guys are interested in tomorrow's Zoom, we have Sophia Stewart on, the mother of the Matrix. She'll be on for 11:30. That'll be hosted by Chandela Kofer. She will be the host for tomorrow on our Zoom. If you're interested, message me your email and I will definitely send you the link for the Zoom. Adam is going to be on that Zoom tomorrow as well. So I'm looking forward to it. This was amazing. And we're going to bring her back more often. Okay, guys? So your pre-Mother's Day gift, I hope you feel blessed because I was over here just doing the darn thing. I was having fun, y'all. Anyway, we'll talk soon. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.